Assalamualaikum and good morning. Welcome back to another episode of AHIBS podcast. We have with us today a special guest from the investment community. She brings with her 20 years of expertise in fund management, strategic management, and investment analysis. And she's also an alumni of AHIBS UTM. Please welcome with us this morning Puan Tursina Yaacob.
Thank you, Doctor. It's a great pleasure to be here and contribute back to the university.
AHIBS, yes. Thank you for having. Thank you for joining us this morning. Tursina spent more than almost 3 decades in investment analysis. She was formerly director of research at Kumpulan Wang Amanah Pencen, and before that she was with Kuwait Finance House, and now she is an independent director of a few public listed companies, Emilius Holdings, as well as a fund management entity, PHB Asset Management. She's also a certified financial planner and a trustee of Islamic Relief Malaysia. Before AHIBS, she obtained her degree in financial economics from Coventry University. So we're going to talk about pension, EPF in particular. Because for a lot of us, retirement is something that we look forward to. Right? But the thing is, the golden years for many people may not be as golden as we hope for, due to the fact that most of them may not have adequate retirement savings. EPF is not a problem. EPF is a well-structured institution that provides for retirement planning. But the problem could probably arise from the members themselves. Okay? To start off, what measures can be taken to help retirees enhance their savings and ensure adequate savings to retire?
Okay, if you're talking about measures while they are working, I think there are two things that they can do. One is behavioral. This is easier to do because you can control your behaviors. Okay. So this boils down to mindset, the mindset of long-term thinking. So one have got to think that they've got this X number of years to live. Yeah. So here in mindset, if you're risk averse, if you're naturally risk averse, you've got values as such, then you start savings. You won't spend. Simply spend. Then you have your proper medical coverage, insurance coverage, and all. On the other hand, if the person is status driven, so that's where just spend and spend recklessly lah. Yeah. So that's when you can get caught later in the years. Yeah. But the other measure is to be financial measures, right? I cannot say enough that one should save. Mm-hmm. Savings is important while you're still working, actively working. Make it automatic. As on the 25th, if your salary comes on the 25th, on the 26th, there's this automatic reduction to whatever channel that there is for your savings, right? Secondly, maximize EPF contribution. So that is another way to add into the retirement money, and as well as managing debt properly. So for us who are still working, ensure that that's minimum or settle all before one retires.
Right. So these are the plans that they have got to do before retiring.
Yeah.
So savings, you're saying you should not be relying on EPF. You should have additional savings pot.
That's right.
Given that now they have got this big sum of money, how can they manage? How should they be managing this money to last them for the next 20 or so years, for example?
Okay, for those who are already out, no income, basically have retired, one has got to be really disciplined in spending. Yeah, there's need to be a proper budget, and you've got to track your expenses. Now there are apps that allows you to track expenses, so that's really useful, right? Secondly, I think be frugal in spending. We're not saying thrifty, but be frugal. Be intentional about money, that you spend on something that's value without waste. Yeah, so you should still spend, but be careful. And finally, be healthy. I think one of the biggest expenses, actually medical expenses. So be healthy, stay active, think positive, engage with the community. I think that's important, just to make that money last longer. Yeah.
So what about financial literacy education? Do you think we have enough?
As a financial advisor, I think there's a lot of gaps in terms of financial awareness within our people. I think number one, I cannot say enough. One must have proper financial planning, and that comes with adequate financial control, financial knowledge in financial awareness and stuff like that. I think that's really important. And in fact, this education on financial should actually start from school.
From school, yes. Yeah, you got to start as early as possible.
As early.
Not only to manage finances, but to avoid being scammed. I mean, that is another threat that we face nowadays. Yeah?
Yes. I think that's really important.
Yeah. So going back to retirement, it's a sad fact that a lot of people who are approaching retirement, those in the 50s, have very small savings in EPF. EPF recommends, previously it was 240 for basic savings, now they've increased it to 290, gradually up to 360. Even then, I think that is something very inadequate. Right? And one of the criticisms of, or rather blame, was this premature withdrawals. Right?
I think it all boils down to lower wages that they have, so they were not able to save enough. Again, it's all boils down to savings, right? Lower wages, thus they cannot save enough. And secondly, maybe, once you reach 55, you can get your lump sum up, and that is when people want to splurge and is urged to go and get some lumpy item. You were not able to get those while you were working. Now that you have this sum of money in your hand, so that's when you want to go for a big holiday or throw a great wedding for your children. Yeah, so this could be the reasons lah.
What about policymakers, the government? How can they help control or prevent this unnecessary withdrawals? Because we saw during the COVID that a lot of people were demanding, insisting that they be allowed to withdraw without really considering that they might need it in the future. So from the policymaker perspective, how do you think they can assist to prevent this unnecessary depletion of your pension pot?
Well, there is talk about EPF monthly withdrawals.
Yeah.
So this is really unpopular, but I think that's a good idea. Yeah. Restrict lump sum withdrawals for those 55 to 59s. Instead, allow them to do monthly withdrawals, so that can stretch a bit of the small savings that they have to longer. So I think that's a very good idea. So once it's 60, maybe EPF could do a tiering. I don't know, the details is not out. Maybe they could do a tiering by age. At a certain age, you get to withdraw a certain amount, a lump sum, but have that monthly contribution as an option. Then that will make the money last a bit longer.
And what do you think of this account 3? Because that gives you immediate access. Is it a good idea or because it sort of reduces the amount from account 1 and 2, right?
That's right. But I think it's also difficult. I kind of understand the situation where EPF is in, right? The rakyat wants a bit of money for their daily necessities. At the same time, EPF wants them to keep for their retirement. So it's more like a give and take.
Right.
At the end of the day, I think it's up to us. It's really up to us on how the discipline of spending has got to be.
It comes from us.
It comes from us lah. It comes from us.
So what about, would it be popular if the government comes up with a revised regulation increasing the mandatory contribution by employers? Not employees though. Employers, instead of 12%, increasing that mandatory to a higher figure. Would that be popular amongst employers?
I think they wouldn't. They wouldn't be happy. They wouldn't be happy. And instead, I think what the government can do is abolish the retirement age. Something different.
Let you decide when you want to retire.
Yeah, decide when you want to retire. Okay, say if it stays at 55, right? So at 55, you retire, but give you an option to do work part time. So you would still have some work you still have a job with some salary. Yet you can tap into EPF So it's not like totally
Dependent
on the EPF. So that's one option that government could have.
Yeah. So but we're talking about people with EPF, right? People that even if it's a small amount, they have something.
Yeah.
But what about this new generation, especially those who are in the gig economy, the small businesses, micro businesses, our roadside stall hawkers? They don't have this kind of avenue to save for retirement. What do you think can be done to bring this un-EPF people because we have unbanked EPF people into the EPF scheme? What do you think we can do?
Maybe what the government can do is establish like dedicated retirement account for these workers. Yeah. So, for instance, the gig workers, when they get a job, say when they got a work and they paid lump sum or monthly, a percentage of that goes the employer take in a percentage of that straight into this dedicated retirement account.
Not by the workers.
Not by the workers.
Because by the workers, they might not do it.
Exactly. So, say you land on a 50,000 ringgit project, a percentage goes directly, right? And if you're a micro entrepreneur, I don't know what kind of mechanism that can be used, but a percentage of the revenue goes. So maybe every year when they do their income tax, maybe a percentage of that can go, right? For our kakak-kakak and makcik that does the pisang goreng and nasi lemak,
TikTok shop.
TikTok shop. Again, maybe a percentage, but I don't know if I'm just thinking out loud. Maybe you can get the community to help. Community-based, I don't know if the masjid ke or I don't know what kind of community, kalau if they can actually help instead of the government helping. Because these are really small businesses. If they can help to calculate their revenue and help put this into
their savings for retirement, it's encouraged by the community kind of thing.
Something like that.
Well, again, I suppose it boils down to financial education and awareness.
Yes. Agree.
Because when you are aware of your responsibilities to save, then you will do it.
Yes.
And like you say rightly, it's got to start from very very young.
I think organisations could also help. They can do probably like a compulsory annual training. By category, the young workers, the importance of savings, the compounding effect, the mid career too, maybe like how do you grow pre-retirees? Now how do you draw down?
Right.
So I guess it can never stop like that financial
the ongoing kan. I mean, so and finally, final thought. I mean, what are your thoughts on government's civil servants going into the EPF scheme and not the traditional pension scheme?
Right. If you look at the macro, if you wear the macro hat and you look at national GDP and all government spending, I think the government cannot do without this, right? So it's the right step if you look at
long overdue.
Yes. If you look at the government coffers, kan. We have seen people live comfortably with EPF. So equally, the civil servants who are on this scheme should be able to live.
They should not worry lah.
They shouldn't worry. The job is there as long as they spend wisely.
Discipline.
It all boils down to that discipline. So even with pension, one still need that financial discipline.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Puan Tursina. We've had a good discussion.
Thank you.
Maybe one of these days we can have you back for another topic.
You can. Inshallah.
Right. And thank you everyone for joining us. And please keep checking our social media pages for our next episode. And we'll see you again soon.